I once visited my mom in Western Oregon, and given her love for the outdoors, we embarked on a trip to the coast. We found this free campsite atop a hill nestled in the foothills of the coastal mountains, a serene spot secluded from the main road. Being the only campers there, it felt like our own private slice of nature. During the day, we enjoyed the tranquility, cooked food, and relished the natural beauty around us. Later, a truck filled with men came up the hill, chatted with my mom, and then drove off. We didn't think much of it at the time. But as night fell, I awoke to a jolt. My mom was sitting upright in the tent, looking anxious. Her quick gasp stirred me from sleep, and I was about to ask her what was wrong when she covered my mouth. Silence enveloped us, and suddenly, we heard footsteps right next to the tent. The fabric flap covering the zipper even rustled. My mom, thinking on her feet, loudly said, "Kenny, grab the gun." Kenny, my dad, wasn't there. It was just my mom and me. But her cunning words did the trick. The lurking presence vanished into the night. No harm was done, all thanks to the quick thinking of my mother. I was out camping solo in a picturesque valley, surrounded by nature's tranquility and completely cut off from cell service. I spent a leisurely evening trailing through the woods and stumbled upon a friendly local as the sun dipped below the horizon. He guided me to a secluded camping spot near the road and river, but concealed within nature's foliage. Relishing the solitude, I settled down with a blazing fire, sipping on a cold beer while tuning into a comedy podcast. The night was comfortable, but the darkness led me to the decision of dozing off in the back of my truck under the canopy instead of pitching my tent. Morning arrived, and I began my day with a campfire, a refreshing beer, and the sizzle of breakfast cooking. It was when I paused to relish the serenity that I spotted an unfamiliar figure at the periphery of my camp. This man appeared disheveled, wearing layers of plastic grocery bags tied around his clothes. Despite my friendly greetings and offerings, he remained completely silent, haunting the edge of my sight in a ghostly manner. Feeling a sense of unease creeping in, I made sure my bear spray and buck knife were within quick reach. As this strange figure continued to pace around without acknowledging me, I issued a direct, forceful warning. Yet my words fell on deaf ears. Determined not to take any chances, I reached for the bear spray and took a few steps closer. The stranger didn't linger. His nonchalant retreat left me rattled. Swiftly, I packed my belongings into my truck and made a hasty exit from that eerie place. The experience left me contemplating whether this enigmatic individual had been watching me through the night. It's moments like these that made me grateful for my decision to sleep in my truck rather than a tent. Growing up as a caver since the tender age of 6 in Florida has embedded the spirit of exploration within me. Caves were my haven, until one unforgettable incident. It all started when I was about 7 or 8 years old, marked by recurring nightmares, echoing a peculiar and unnerving dream of a cave exploration gone awry. In this dream, I find myself in a cave, instinctively venturing into a small hole at its base. The eeriness commenced with the discovery of a 10 to 15-foot corridor that tapered into a left turn, the path marked with a broken red stop sign, like someone had carelessly ripped off its upper part. Yet, an unspoken fear seemed to urge me on. I'd walk, trudging through the corridor's gradual descent leading to a vast vertical chamber spiraling downwards. The imagery became hazy but remained persistently the same. The littered walls, the pit plunging down to an ambiguous figure, the haunting scenes of my family being tormented at the hands of obscure entities. Just as the dream reached its dire culmination, I'd feel an inexplicable force driving me out of slumber, a sensation akin to being unwelcomed, expelled from a forbidden realm. For years, this harrowing dream persisted, lingering in my subconscious and recurring multiple times each year. The same haunting sequence played out until I turned 15, when an eerie twist of fate unfolded. One day, my father decided to introduce us to caves we hadn't explored before, including the foreboding dog drop. Dog Drop, named after a grim incident involving a pet or a coyote's ill-fated fall into the abyss, was a 30-foot vertical rappel. Descending alongside my brother, an uneasy sensation gripped me. It was inexplicable, a growing dread that I couldn't shake off. Upon peering up, my eyes landed on a spine-chilling sight: the same corridor, the familiar turn, the accursed wall, and the scattered bottles in the corner. Suddenly, an overpowering wave of nausea and a suffocating sense of being watched washed over me. A surreal moment that mirrored my recurrent nightmare had unfolded before my eyes. Panic-stricken, I must have emitted a sound, catching my brother's attention as he questioned my uneasiness. With trembling urgency, I blurted out my fervent desire to depart from that haunting place, scrambling to escape the petrifying familiarity. Rapidly, we packed up and vacated the eerie site, an episode that etched deep within me, unshared and repressed by the sheer spine-tingling nature of the experience. It was an encounter that instilled an inexplicable fear, shrouding my thoughts in an inexplicable dread, lingering long after that day. And although the recurring dream ceased its unwelcome visits, the vivid memories of those terrifying episodes persist, occasionally resurfacing to fill me with a gripping sense of trepidation. I once dwelled in an old apartment nestled within the heart of a historical city. The building itself was an antiquated relic, having been erected back in 1900. The living area and kitchen possessed an air of comfort, but the bedroom and bathroom exuded an unnerving aura, especially when the closet door in the bedroom was left ajar. The sensation of being watched veiled these spaces, growing from unsettling to outright discomfort as time lapsed. The bedroom seemed a sanctuary, but only when the door was safely locked. One particular night remains etched in my memory like an ominous silhouette. In the midst of my slumber, a resounding bang reverberated through the silent chambers, striking my bedroom door. Stirred from my sleep, I cautiously scoured the entire apartment, windows sealed and locked, door still secured with its chain, and no unauthorized presence detected. The closet, a dim and sinister enclave, held its own dread for me. The idea of the door left ajar spawned phantom gasping noises in my mind, leaving it firmly closed as a matter of personal safety. However, as the weeks drifted by, an inexplicable event roused me from my sleep, the sensation of a force holding me down in the pitch-black room. I sensed a looming presence, but found nothing when I switched on the bedside lamp. This incident paralyzed me with fear, rendering the darkness unendurable, compelling me to sleep with a lamp aglow. The unease pervading the space only grew, confirmed by friends who felt an uncanny sense of being observed, particularly in the bathroom. When the opportunity arose to shift to another unit, I leaped at the chance and hastily packed my belongings. Subsequent tenants also found solace elsewhere, quickly vacating the apartment. Developing a rapport with the building manager, I divulged my belief in the apartment's haunting nature, an assertion met with a dismissive laugh. Years later, I revisited the building during its renovation. The apartment appeared revitalized, its eerie ambience somewhat diminished. Engaging in conversation with the building owner, a startling revelation surfaced. A former tenant had taken their own life in the very closet, and the apartment's original architect had breathed their last within its walls. While not incensed by the disclosure, I felt a surge of validation, affirming the reality of my haunting experiences. During my university days, a mundane quest for late-night booze led my friends and me down an uncanny rabbit hole. With the shops shuttered and a need for spirits, we embarked on a journey to the nearest 24-hour supermarket, a good mile or so away from our dorms. The walk back was a typical trek, characterized by the rows of identical suburban houses lining the streets. As we strolled along one such familiar lane, we encountered something that could only be described as peculiar: an open field ablaze with a sizable campfire. Horses trotted around the flames while people played musical instruments, enveloping the area with a nostalgic aura, like a throwback to a bygone era. A peculiar scene, to say the least. The oddity of the gathering lingered in our minds, even as we continued down the road. It wasn't long before one of my friends vocalized the very thought that had been looping in our heads. That gathering was so strange, right? We all agreed. Intrigued and somewhat bewildered, we collectively decided to retrace our steps and investigate further. However, when we turned back to locate the enigmatic event, we found absolutely nothing. No horses, no people, not even a trace of a field. Just an uninterrupted parade of monotonous houses. Certain that we were on the right track, we scoured the surrounding lanes in disbelief, hoping for an explanation to unravel the mystery. But the more we searched, the more elusive the peculiar spectacle became. Sober enough to trust our senses, yet perplexed by the inexplicable turn of events, we were left scratching our heads. The eerie vanishing act lingered in our minds, an enigmatic occurrence that defied explanation, leaving us with an unresolved mystery to ponder for days to come.